You try to stay disciplined, even after watching motivation videos and making big promises to yourself, but somehow you still quit. You tell yourself tomorrow will be different, but tomorrow looks exactly the same. What if you could stop relying on willpower and still do the right thing automatically? In this video, I'll share a simple, science-backed framework that turns willpower into an automatic system, so discipline finally sticks. I discovered this framework after years of starting strong and burning out fast. I tried hype, motivation, and forcing myself to be stronger. None of it lasted. When I finally looked at the research and tested it in real life, everything changed. Research shows willpower is limited, but systems are not. The problem is, most people try to push harder instead of redesigning how their behavior actually works. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to make discipline happen without constant effort. Let's dive in. First, you need to stop treating willpower like a muscle. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most people believe discipline is about strength, that if you just push harder, you'll succeed. But willpower is more like a phone battery than a muscle. It drains as the day goes on. Every decision you make uses a little bit of that battery. By night, it's almost empty. Research from the American Psychological Association shows that decision fatigue reduces self-control over time. This works because your brain is designed to conserve energy, not spend it heroically. When you rely on willpower, you're fighting your own biology. So instead of depending on motivation, assume your energy will drop. Schedule important habits earlier in the day. Reduce decisions wherever possible. Decide once, not every day. For example, instead of asking yourself whether you'll work out, place your workout clothes next to your bed so the decision is already made. But that's just the beginning. Most people don't know this, but automatic behavior beats motivated behavior every time. This brings us to the second shift. You need defaults, not decisions. A default is what happens when you don't think. You don't debate brushing your teeth, you just do it. Studies from Duke University show that nearly half of what you do every day comes from habits, not conscious choices. This works because your brain loves patterns. It will always follow the path of least resistance. To apply this, choose one tiny habit and lock it to something you already do. Remove alternatives. No negotiation. For example, instead of saying I'll work out if I feel like it, your default becomes 10 push-ups after waking up. No thinking, no emotion, just action. Now, you might be thinking, what if I still don't feel motivated? That's exactly why the next step matters. This next one is crucial, and most people mess it up. You must shrink the action until resistance disappears. Instead of making habits impressive, make them unavoidable. Tiny actions feel too easy to fail. Research from behavior science shows that lowering effort increases consistency more than increasing motivation. This works because your brain doesn't resist goals. It resists pain. Small actions slip past that resistance. Start by defining the smallest possible version of the habit. Commit only to starting. Give yourself permission to stop almost immediately. For example, instead of write for an hour, open the document and type one sentence. Here's the fascinating part. Once you start, momentum often kicks in naturally. But even if it doesn't, you still win because consistency beats intensity. But wait, there's more to this. Your environment is silently controlling your behavior right now. Your space decides what you do more than your mindset. Your environment is everything around you that makes actions easier or harder. Research in behavioral psychology shows environment design beats self-control because your brain reacts to cues faster than it can think. That's why Japanese productivity culture focuses so heavily on order and layout. To use this, remove friction from good habits and add friction to bad ones. Make cues obvious, hide distractions. For example, put a book on your pillow so reading becomes automatic. And place your phone in another room so scrolling becomes inconvenient. Thousands of people fix habits this way without ever feeling motivated. Now we're getting to the part that makes habits permanent. Instead of focusing on results, focus on identity. This is where most people finally break through. Research on identity-based habits shows behavior sticks when it aligns with who you believe you are. This works because your brain protects identity more than goals. You don't skip the habit because that's not who you are. Define the identity you want first. Then prove it with tiny actions. Reinforce it with your language. Say, I'm someone who trains daily, not I'm trying to work out. Every small action becomes a vote for the person you're becoming. You've already stayed with me this far, so let me give you the final piece that locks everything in. The last step is a simple feedback loop. This is what keeps habits alive when results are still far away. A feedback loop gives your brain immediate proof that effort matters. Neuroscience shows dopamine is released by progress, not outcomes. That's why checking a box feels good. Track the habit visually. Never miss twice. Reward consistency, not perfection. For example, mark an X on a calendar every day you show up. Over time, the chain becomes something your brain doesn't want to break. There's a scientific reason this feels satisfying. And once you feel it, discipline stops feeling heavy. Let's quickly review what we covered today. Willpower is limited energy. Defaults beat decisions. Tiny actions remove resistance. Environment controls behavior. Identity makes habits stick. Feedback loops lock everything in. Remember this. Discipline isn't about being strong. It's about being smart. You already have everything you need to change your behavior permanently. The only difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the system you follow. Don't wait until burnout forces you to change. Start with just one tiny habit today. I promise you, 30 days from now, you'll thank yourself for making it automatic. If this helped you, hit like so more people can see it. Subscribe for more simple, proven self-improvement systems. Comment below and tell me which habit you're going to automate first. And if you want to go deeper into building habits that actually last, watch the next video. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.